Hi, my name is Charla Marie Bailey, and I'm your host for SPNN Forum, and I am sitting here today with Donna Stoering, world-renowned pianist. Hi,
Hello,
Donna.
great to be here.
I'm so glad that you are here today.
Thank you. Me too.
So I understand that you've got a lot of things going on right now. Can you share with us, please?
Well, at the moment, what I'm doing is I recently moved to Minnesota, and I'm very, very excited to be here. I just love it. Have you always been here?
No, I moved here from Chicago back in '96. I've been here ever since.
Well, I don't have any plans to move anytime ever either. I just love it.
Nice.
So one of the reasons I chose to come here for my hopefully forever home is the quality of the music life here is phenomenal. Really is. And I've lived all over the world and worked all over the world, but this is the happiest place to be and to make music. And so I've been really chomping at the bit ever since I moved here to start getting really involved. And one of the things I have been doing over the last, I guess, 26 years now is that when I was based in London and traveling as artistic ambassador for the UK and the US, I met so many musicians of all different cultures, all different styles of music that would see me on their local or regional TV programs, and then they would see me in the street sightseeing, and they'd come up to me and they'd say, "We need your help."
Oh.
And this happened in, like, I counted 28 countries in a row. And it didn't matter if they were first world, third world, in between, it didn't matter. They were all asking for help. And they all had the same reasons for wanting help. And I'd say, "Why are you asking me?" They said, "Well, you're the one on TV." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you need?" And it was always, we are losing our music culture, which is like losing our language and our traditions because of the advent of global pop music media, because we don't have a chance to share what we do. And what's happening is our younger generation who used to sit at the feet of the master to learn those styles and skills and whatever, they don't want to do that anymore because they see, you know, rap or hip hop or whatever on TV, and that's what they want to do because they want the fame and the celebrity status.
Yeah.
So they're not interested in learning their own culture's music and traditional instruments. So for the first time in all our generations, we have instruments that no one alive knows how to play.
Wow.
And that took me completely aback because even though I've been a musician since I was 3, I had no idea this was happening. I just thought music was music, and I didn't know that they were losing these cultures. So I thought about that and figured out, well, yeah, if we went to these cultures and these countries with TV equipment, video equipment, recording equipment, and the young people saw that we were interviewing their master musicians and filming them to make programs that later got shown on the BBC, maybe the young people would think, you mean somebody out there is interested in what we do and what we say? And you mean people want us to have a voice? And then they would maybe sit at the feet of the master and think somebody out there cares. And that would in turn help the master musicians not to lose their livelihood and help them save their village because they're responsible in so many cultures for the entire village. They're like the griot, the history holder, everything. So that's what we did. I went back to London and was very, very fortunate in that people I knew people they knew, and pretty soon we had a board, and they said, you have to create an entity, an organization, and you're the CEO. I'm like, I didn't go to business school, but okay. So, it was just one of these things. And now we've been going it was Listen for Life is the name of the organization.
Thank you.
And, we've been going for 26 years now. And probably we're all volunteer. We probably have people in about 179 countries.
Wow.
And we used to have big offices in about 40 of those. But now, over the last few years with the pandemic and before that, with the crashes and things that were happening, we've just downsized to, I'm sort of the office and where I decide to move, because everybody's working on their own, from their own places. And we have ad hoc video volunteers and television volunteers and radio and recording people. And so it's worked. It's not been a problem. So anyway, when I decided that it was time to find a new national U.S. headquarters for Listen for Life, and I wanted to be somewhere that I could be performing as much as possible and producing music festivals, which I also do around the globe, this was the natural place to come.
Nice.
And Listen for Life itself has grown from at first being this entity that helped save music cultures to an umbrella organization for many, many different kinds of projects, programs, people, and productions that address any issue you can possibly think of through the gift of music. So instead of our original mission, which was to help save music traditions and cultures, it's now, we still do that, and we have an award-winning series of those programs I explained called Travels with Music, and people can look at that online, travelswithmusic.com, and that's won a lot of awards. But, and we're looking to make new programs for that series, by the way, featuring the master musicians of any cultures that live here in Minnesota. So I'm putting that out there, that if anybody knows of a master musician from anywhere on the planet that has their own traditions and styles that they are the next generation's holder of, to please get in touch with Listen for Life, because we would love to go interview them and film them for this series. But we also have many, many other projects, and anytime a musician sees a need in their community that they feel could be addressed through music and they want to be a part of that but they don't know where to start, then they come to us and they tell me what the problem is that they saw, and we invent a project that addresses that and then get as many people in the community involved as we can, and then we do it. So we have done music in prisons, music in hospitals, music in schools, creating different projects, not just bringing music to schools, but creating projects with the school districts that help address other issues like bullying through music, and helping the kids to create their own songs against, say, bullying, that they share with each other. And then we have competitions, and it's really fun, and it just kind of gets the goal across in a way that they all absorb, because all kids respond to music. Doesn't matter what style, doesn't matter what culture. They all love it, right?
Yes.
So we do those kinds of projects. We have done a little bit of working with the Minnesota Humanities Center, and just to see what we might be able to do together in the future in that respect for teaching history and sociology through music. But one of our most interesting or exciting newest projects, there's been two actually. One is called Music for Medicine.
Okay.
And that grew during the pandemic. We were contacted by people through neurologists on the East Coast that were looking for, this is right when the virus started here. They had all these patients in ICUs that were hooked to up to 12 monitors around their bed. And they found that if they survived and they went home, they couldn't sleep. And the reason was because the constant beeping of all these monitors, different times, different rhythms, had created a groove in their brain.
Oh.
And changed their sleep patterns. And so they wanted to prevent this in the future. And they knew that I had done some work in the past with music with neurologists and music therapists and music healing, sound healing. So they said, can you create something, some very specific, intentionally created music to block the beeping of the monitors and to help entrain their breathing of the patients, because that's part of the problem with COVID is the breathing, right? So anyway, we spent the first year and a half of COVID very busy trying to create this, and then it got released, and it's used in some hospitals and hospice centers and neurology centers and stroke recovery units across the country. And they found that it works really well especially for stroke recovery and neonatal clinics and hospice centers. They have like an amazing experience in the transition if they use this intentionally and not just background music. So it's very exciting to be a part of all of that. And again, this is the perfect place to come and, we hope, introduce this project here and get people involved, whether it's at the Mayo Clinic or here in the Twin Cities with the different doctors and nurses that are treating people, and a lot of PTSD centers use it. So that's one of our exciting things. We helped to found a music school for the refugees from the Ukraine who are now living in Poland. So that's one of our current projects. It's still going, unfortunately, because they can't go back. So that's happening. And then our first project that we're launching here in Minnesota is this week. And you have a flyer there. We called it Minnesota Celebrates Flicka is the name of the whole project. And Flicka is the nickname for one of the most famous operatic sopranos that ever has been.
Okay.
And she's still with us, and kind of miraculously is still singing. And she has failed retirement about 10 times now. And the thing about her name is Frederica von Stade, but her nickname ever since a child is Flicka.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's Minnesota Celebrates Flicka, because her lifelong fans here who used to come to hear her when she toured here every year, coming on tour with the Met or coming to do recital programs with the Schubert Club or the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, they all know her as Flicka. So I thought it's easier to say Minnesota Celebrates Flicka than come hear Frederica von Stade. So that's why we called it that. But I happen to be, she and I have done concerts together for the last, 10, 15 years, and we've become really good friends. And so after I moved here recently, she was on the phone with me and she was saying, of all the places I have toured my whole life, that's one of my favorite places I've ever been. I said, great, I love it too. It's so beautiful and the people are so lovely. And she said, yeah, I'd really love to come back. And she had a lifelong pianist that she toured with, and his name is Martin Katz, and he's now 83 and she's 79. And she said, I would love to do just a couple more things with him, one more time. So I thought, well, that should be the first thing I do here. Why not? I'll meet people, contacting people. Let's see what I can do. I didn't know anybody, but let's see what I can do. So I talked to people, and luckily they knew other people, and people called. And eventually we had 9 events for them lined up, and they start September 12th, which is in a couple days, and they go through September 20th. And there's basically, on average, 1 event a day. There are some recitals between Martin and Flicka, and there's 1 recital with Flicka and myself, and then she's giving a lot of master classes at different places for singers, right? So one of the master classes she's giving is for, appropriately, retired and reborn singers. There's a new opera company here in town called Raison d'Etre, and their whole mission is to give opportunities to perform opera for people who have been aged out of the traditional roles, and they are dying to do them again. And so they have a whole new opera company, and Flicka thought that was great.
It's wonderful.
So, you know, she's, the amazing thing about Flicka, in the West Coast where she lives, she's known as Saint Flicka, because her whole passion in life is helping people experiencing homelessness. And she lives quite close to many of the camps and whatever in Oakland and the Bay Area. And she goes to those camps probably every other day, at least once a week. They have no idea who she is. And she just goes in there and she befriends, especially the women. And if they have any clothing or bedding besides what they're wearing, she takes it home in her car and she washes it all and she brings it back to them and she brings them meals and she just cares so much. And so a couple of years ago, she set up a project within Listen for Life to go through the encampments with she was standing on the back of a flatbed truck singing into a microphone and inviting people to come join her, and she would give them weekly lessons and create a choir of people in the encampments. And so she did that. So there's all those different things.
Again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Charla Marie for SPNN, and we are sitting here with Donna Stoering, world-renowned pianist. And right now we are talking about Minnesota Celebrates Flicka, which will be happening from September 12th to September 20th. And I'm gonna let Donna finish her story about the amazing things that Flicka, which is not, it is a nickname.
That's a nickname
I'm not gonna
for
say her
Frederica
real name.
Vonstadt. And she's just a phenomenal artist, musician, soul, and human being. And so because she has this love for helping people who, if she can in any way, she always insists that all of her recitals that she's doing, her concerts, are benefits for another nonprofit or a cause that she cares about. So what we were able to do was identify several different agencies here in Minnesota, in Rochester, in St. Paul, in Minneapolis, in other cities where we're performing, Stillwater, and each of the concerts is a complete fundraiser for an agency or an organization, sometimes three, in each of those locations where we're performing. And so we really invite people, if you happen to hear about this in time and you can come to one of the events, even if you don't care about singing, come donate something to help these causes and these organizations that are right here in your neighborhood. And that's who we're trying to help.
Listen, and Listen for Life is promoting this.
One of the projects that Listen for Life does in every city where we're active is work with musicians who want to use their gifts to raise funds for nonprofits. And so we call that project Notes for Nourishment within Listen for Life.
Okay.
Because the artists are using notes to nourish their audience, and the audience is donating to a nonprofit that nourishes the hungry, the homeless, or the hurting in their neighborhood, in their community. So we've done these all over the world for many, many years now. And this will be our first set of Notes for Nourishment project concerts and events and masterclasses here in Minnesota. So we hope to do more. I'm currently in dialogue with various venues and organizations here for doing some things in the spring and then starting a new summer music festival for the Twin Cities in the summer. And those will all be events that also raise money for different nonprofits in the area.
Oh, Donna, amazing. You've got so much going on, and you say you started playing piano when you were 3.
Yeah.
And you're still doing that with passion. You do a concert pianist, and Listen for Life, and it's FOR, if you want to look it up, correct?
Yes, the website is FOR, listen
Okay.
for FORlife.org.
.org.
Yeah.
And it's like you're giving life
Thank you.
through music.
That's the idea of the
Yeah.
name. That's the idea.
On many different levels.
Many different
And you're
levels.
bringing music back to life in a way for
That's right.
music that has like disappeared because
Or is at risk.
Yes.
That is absolutely right. Thank you for
Yes.
understanding that. Yes.
Yeah, and I believe it because even in schools, when my children were in school, one of the first things to go is the music program. I'm like, no,
That's right.
no, because music is life. I mean, I listen to it every day. Different types of music. I'm eclectic. I have an eclectic ear.
That's perfect.
So I listen to different types of music, and I enjoy
do I.
it. And I had no idea that there's instruments now that exist that people don't know what they are.
Nope.
And
No.
Wow.
Lost them. It's just like, I think ethnomusicologists, when I first learned about all this, I went and talked to some ethnomusicologists, and they were telling me, yeah, we're losing music cultures around the globe at the rate of 5 a year. And that was right when we started Listen for Life. And we managed in the first 8 years of these projects to slow that way down. So we're very pleased about that. But we still have plenty of cultures to film and to catalog and to encourage, because we're not just about recording what you did. We want to enrich and help you to enrich your culture, to add to that catalog of history and style and culture, and grow it for the next generation, because that's exactly what music and life is all about, right? Yeah. I mean, our mission now is stated as we inspire and empower musicians to use their gifts in the service of others. And the key word there is service. And we look for musicians that have a heart of service, not trying to use their gifts to become rich or celebrities. That's not what we're about helping. So it's a different group, and it turns out that everybody that's involved in it is just wonderful human beings. So it's a blessing to me too. But yeah, you have to not like to sleep in my job.
yeah, because now that you've moved to Minnesota, you say you are the office.
Well,
so to speak.
and yes, I so far have 2 wonderful assistants, one of whom is basically full-time, and like I say, we're all volunteer, and so for the last 26 years, mine's sort of been volunteer 24/7, but I'm always impressed when other people come on board. It takes a while each new place you go to gather the people, but then you grow them, and then they stay with it, and then but like I said, I'm not moving anywhere this time. I like it here.
Okay. I'm glad you do. I wonder what our weather will be like this winter, though.
I like winter.
It was
It's
really
okay.
nice. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I've lived in places with tons of snow, so it's okay.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
know last winter was really nice to
Yeah, it
us. So I'm like, what's going to happen this year? But yes, we have Flicka in association with the Schubert Club.
Yes, after I let them know what was happening, what I'd managed to pull together through all the different people who knew people, they were excited and impressed enough to say, okay, we'll come on and be named sponsor for that. So that was a really big honor.
Yeah, nice. And this is happening September 12th through September 20th.
Different cities every day. Yeah, different locations, different venues. You can learn all the venues and what's happening and what time by going to listenforlife.org. And then there's a page that is specifically for this tour, and it has all the information on how to get tickets.
Okay. Which one of these will you be assisting Flicka with?
I will be playing on a concert with her on September 16th. That's Monday night, the 16th in Stillwater.
At Trinity Lutheran Church.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
And then I'll be playing on the 17th in Hamlin at Sundin Hall. That is a master class, not a concert. So it's for musicians who are wanting to hear what Frederic von Stade has to say about as she teaches other singers that are singing one song for her.
Okay.
And I'm just accompanying them. So it'd be fun.
Yes, it sounds like a lot of fun. All right, and what else, is there anything else that you would like to share with us before we wrap this up today?
I think I would just reiterate my invite to people with any particular skill set, whether it be admin or cold calling or grant writing or videography or recording, audio engineering, marketing, anything, education, sociology, ethnomusicology, we use it all. We use everything you bring to us. So we're open to people becoming part of it, and also we're going to be adding new board members here and hopefully looking for a new leadership team, somebody that has tons of experience being either a CEO or an executive director, but is looking for a new path in life to take Listen for Life forward for the next generation.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
It would.
Keep the music alive and keep it going.
Right. And as I
And
get
traditional music.
exactly,
and all that. Yeah.
yes, all forms of music. Yes, it's not just classical. It's not just traditional. We tend to work with styles of music that are not as readily available on global media.
Yes.
But other than that, we're open.
Well,
It's all the heart of service that we look for, right?
yes. Well, I hope that I'm able to attend one of these. And
I hope you can.
yes, at listenforlife.org. And they can go there and they'll find this QR code there too. And they can donate or they can get in touch with you to let you know if they can help out.
Absolutely. The QR code will take you, on this flyer, will take
Hard
you
copy.
to the, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But when you get to the homepage, there's a direct link to the page all about this, because we have different pages for each of our projects.
Yes.
So we had to make a new page for this project, and it will take you right there. And there are donate buttons right on the page, so that go absolutely, and you can donate to whatever project you want and whatever event you want.
Okay. Well,
But
thank you. Thank you, Donna Stoering, for coming to speak with us here at SPNN about Listen for Life and how Listen for Life presents the Minnesota Celebrates Flicka in association with Schubert Club. It's going to be some wonderful music. Like I said, I'm eclectic, and I enjoyed listening to it.
Well, she's doing, she's not doing any opera. I think one song maybe from an opera, but everything else she's doing is, it's all very accessible. There's nothing uber classical about it. She's doing some cabaret, she's doing some from musicals.
Okay.
She's just doing a wide range, which she, when she started out, she wanted to be in musicals. And then when they first heard her sing in New York, they said, no, you have to go sing opera because we need somebody who can do what you're doing, but in opera. So she's like, I've never been to an opera, what do they do? So she had a very unusual path to doing this. And she's the most down-to-earth, mega star you could ever meet in your whole life. You'd never know. If you just see her on the street, you'd never know. Just no airs, just a lovely human being.
Wonderful.
So it's
and
fun. I hope you
back.
get to come, and I hope you come meet her.
Yes, thank you. And it sounds like a wonderful person, giving back to the community through her music.
And she's missed being here, so she's excited about coming too. She'll arrive tomorrow.
All right.
So thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Donna. Thank you for tuning in to SPNN today with Donna Stoering and Music for Life.